So here's the situation. While OpenAI and Google have been steadily pushing their premium multimodal systems behind ever higher subscription tiers, a completely different player just stepped forward and flipped the entire narrative. And honestly, the timing could not have been more disruptive, because all the major labs are right in the middle of a frantic race to launch their own full-stack AI agent platforms. Let me set the scene for you. OpenAI is gearing up to debut a tool called Operator early next year, a system designed to let models take actions on your behalf. Google is building its own consumer-focused agent built on the upcoming Gemini lineup. Anthropic just released its computer use system. Everyone is sprinting toward the same finish line. And then, out of nowhere, Zhipu AI releases GLM 4.6V, and the entire AI community collectively pauses and says, wait, what just happened? Because this isn't just another version bump or parameter upgrade. This is the first open-source multimodal model that treats images, videos, and screenshots as direct operational inputs for tool use, not text-wrapped interpretations, not forced conversions, not features hidden behind a paywall or enterprise license, just pure multimodal reasoning that anyone can download instantly and run locally if they want. The model ships in two main variants. The full-scale version is a massive 106 billion parameter model designed for cloud or server environments. Then there's a compact flash version with just 9 billion parameters, lightweight enough to run on a decent laptop without specialized hardware. And the wild part? The flash version is completely free. Both variants come with an MIT license, meaning companies can use them in commercial products without being forced to disclose their code or pay licensing fees. Now let's talk about pricing, because the numbers here genuinely stunned people. The large model costs around 30 cents per million input tokens and 90 cents per million output tokens. Total, $1.20 per million. Meanwhile, GPT 4.1 sits at roughly $1.25 for the same amount. Gemini Pro goes higher. Claude Opus, a jaw-dropping $90 per million. And despite being dramatically cheaper, GLM 4.6V delivers competitive, and in some cases superior, benchmark results compared to much larger proprietary models. But pricing is not even the real breakthrough. The revolutionary part is how the system handles perception and action. Traditionally, language models treat tool use as a text-only exchange. Even when you upload an image, the model has to rewrite the image into text, use that description as a function argument, wait for a text reply, and continue from there. It's clunky, it's lossy, and it slows everything down. GLM 4.6V removes that bottleneck completely. A screenshot, a chart, a page from a PDF, or even a clip from a video, these all pass straight into tools without any conversion step. And those tools can return images, grids, visual layouts, or rendered pages right back into the reasoning loop. The model then continues thinking using both visual and textual streams simultaneously, which is what has researchers excited. It finally creates a unified chain of perception, reasoning, and execution. To support this, Zhipu extended its model context protocol so that every visual reference, whether it's a frame, an image, or a cropped region, can be represented as a URL-like pointer inside the conversation. That means instead of forcing the model to digest an entire 200-page PDF at once, it can jump between relevant frames, pull specific regions, and reference them dynamically. It's effectively a vision-native execution layer. And the context window? 128,000 tokens, enough to process roughly 150 dense pages, a couple hundred slides, or nearly a full hour of video in one pass. Zhipu even showcased examples where the model reviewed financial reports from 4 separate companies simultaneously, isolated the essential numbers, compared them, and assembled them into a clean, readable table, all without chunking or stitching. But the demonstration that really caught people off guard was the visual search pipeline. GLM 4.6V can detect your intent, select appropriate search actions, and combine text-to-image and image-to-text retrieval intelligently. It evaluates every visual returned from the web, aligns charts and diagrams, pulls out meaningful details, and synthesizes a structured explanation backed by multimodal evidence. If you ask it to compare products or analyze locations, it literally gathers visuals, reasons over them, and integrates them into its final answer. Then there's the front-end automation workflow, arguably the most shocking part of the demo. When Zhipu calls it pixel-accurate replication, they mean it. Show the model a screenshot of a website or app, and it generates a faithful recreation using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, color palettes, spacing, font hierarchies, component layout. It mirrors everything with surprising accuracy. Then you can highlight a portion of the screenshot and say something simple like, "Move this button down," or "Change this background," and the model identifies the correct region in the code and modifies it. It even renders the updated page internally to verify that the change matches your request before outputting the final code. Now let's look at benchmarks, because this is where things start to make sense. On MathVista, the model reached 88.2, surpassing previous open versions and competing impressively with larger commercial systems. On WebVoyager, it scored 81, while many competing models hovered in the high 60s. And on long context tasks, it even outperformed Step 3, a model with more than triple the parameters. The training pipeline is equally notable. It includes staged pre-training, structured fine-tuning, and reinforcement learning. But unlike some traditional approaches that rely heavily on human rating systems, Zhipu uses verifiable, tool-enabled tasks. Problem-solving, chart interpretation, spatial reasoning, programmatic UI changes, all tasks where correctness can be objectively measured. Over time, the curriculum increases in difficulty as the model improves, helping it develop strong generalization skills. Here's why this release matters strategically. OpenAI and Google are heavily invested in agentic AI, systems that don't just answer questions, but actually perform tasks. Sam Altman has said agents will be OpenAI's next major leap. Google is preparing Gemini 2.0 with advanced agent capabilities. But both companies face mounting pressure to justify the costs of scaling larger and larger proprietary models. And then Zhipu drops a fully open-source, vision-native agent system with downloadable weights, a free-to-use small model, and an MIT license that removes nearly all restrictions. The ecosystem gets a model that does today what the biggest labs are promising for tomorrow. You can run it locally, you can build with it, you can integrate it into products without waiting for permission. The weights are already on Hugging Face. There's an OpenAI compatible API. There's even a desktop assistant client ready to try. That's why the community reacted so strongly. This release isn't just another checkpoint, it's a turning point. And now, all eyes are on how the major labs will respond. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.